Okay, I think we've got that sorted now. Let's see if I can get back to where we were meant to be set up. Some of you will recognize this tree from previous streams. I will be over in the lounge chair in a moment after I have gotten all the seeds set out. I'm a little bit behind this morning, and all the birds are here to let me know how they feel about that. I will just set you down here while we take care of that. Alright, the squirrels have their sunflower seeds set out. And now we have time to just listen to the sounds of the morning. The morning rush should be largely over. So we are right next to a street here with a back fence. That you'll be getting the view I have right here in my lounge chair, where I was watching all the little squirrels yesterday. Of course, yesterday morning they were running all over, chasing each other, as they have been most of the week. So we'll check out and see if they do the same thing today. And if not, we'll just enjoy the shade provided by Canopy. I don't know if you can hear the neighbor's chicken going off there, but sounds like she has something to say. Oh, wait a minute now, customer. Let's see if I can get that in focus. Try. See if we can walk on over there. I'm not sure if that's one of the younger squirrels or one of the squirrels I see that lets me get close most of the time. Okay, it's going to be a bumpy ride for a minute. Let's see what we're doing. That's about as close as we can get. I'll try that again. Lounge chair. know if you can hear a woodpecker up there. Focus. Here we are. There is Nutmeg. We might be able to approach her. We can zoom less and be less shaky if I can zoom less. Maybe not. Morning, Nutmeg. Oh, what was that big sound? That's something from over the apartment complex, yeah. They're a noisy bunch. There's those chickens going off again. Next, can we get Nutmeg today? Don't run, ma'am. You're okay. 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 So nutmeg here is not entirely melanistic. She is darker overall, but as we said in the other video, to be fully melanistic, the hairs must be jet black over at least 90%. And that is not the case with nutmeg. To those of you who have not seen nutmeg before, we do have a little introductory video from the first time this spring that she appeared in the yard. And you can get to know a little bit about Eastern Fox Squirrels and about melanism in both the Eastern Fox Squirrel and the gray squirrel on that video. It's got a pretty cute short with her as well. Hello, Louise. I can see now that I've moved my chat that you checked in. Thank you. I hope you're doing well today. Oh man, did you already eat all the sunflower seeds? There are more on the other platforms, honey. It looks like you need to fill that back up a little bit, huh? See if she'll go over to the other feeders. Basking in our sunshine. We've got plenty of it today. It's been a little cloudy, which is actually a fairly good thing here in Texas, at least in the afternoons. There she goes. See, our sapsuckers go after that particular tree kind of a lot. I try to see how long I can follow her as she progresses. Makes me want one of those gimbal things. It'd be less shaky for you. Stand on my bed. Scratching an itch there. There she is. Should I check out the neighbor's yard? Maybe. That sounds like their little ducks is inside the house. So squirrels can look around if they want. She really takes her time a lot more than that. Most of our squirrels just run quite fast, getting from point A to point B. She sniffs around, looks around, investigates. Oh boy. I'm trying not to trip on anything. How do I do this? I have to go around the other way. There we are, ma'am. There we are. See if we walk a little closer. Hey, Nutmeg. How are we this morning? because there's squirrel running along the fence. That cannot come this way. So listen. I hope you can hear some of the bird song. It's the native bird song, not just the neighbor's chickens. Or the chirps of car alarms are closer into the apartment complexes. Taking up step. You can tolerate one more step, nutmeg. Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm real glad nutmeg has been coming to visit just about every day this weekend. And I get my feet straight. Get this button. What is it, nutmeg? Oh, Nuthatch on the opposite platform. I know every time I sway the camera over to find them, I'll be gone. But if you want to rewind, there's a Nuthatch on this platform. But briefly, not sure my chance of it. Hello, meow. You're a pretty lady. To anyone not in here when we first spotted Nutmeg, she was over by the picnic table and I had finished all those. She is kind of followed her along the fence line. Back over to here. Ooh, yeah, good jump. All right. Let me walk up on you over here, maybe. I hope those of you popping in are having a good day. Enjoy a bit of peaceful content here. Time to just relax and watch little nature here in the backyard. This is Nutmeg. We have a little bit of a longer video from last week when she first appeared in the yard, talking a little bit more about Eastern Fox Squirrels and about the melanism with both our Eastern Fox Squirrels and our gray squirrels. Now from where I'm standing, I can hear her cracking open those shells. But I am not sure if these might spin. I've got something that small. Notice the audio with these mics is not as great as the actual microphone in the phone, but the little wind covers are helpful. Getting rid of some of the wind sounds. I don't know how well they're filtering out the traffic sounds. And hopefully you can still hear some of our bird song above. Okay. Once she's done, we'll set out the next round of seeds so the birds can get out of this way. Good morning, love. All right. So, there she is. She's going up there. Oh, man. So let's see her out here on the canopy. Now she's cleaned out these two platforms. She might end up going over to the big brain composter. I'm gonna see if I can set in some over closer to there. So I refill the platform she just finished off. Right here. There she is. Right in. So we can see. She was on the fence. There she is. There she is. Heading back where she came from. This morning. So, down here. Look at the tree. Friends. Mhm. Now let me go get my phone. Put it on YouTube. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to be too much. This one. This one was down. Oh, wait, my friend. Oh, you see there. There we go. Okay, thank you so much, Louise, for being here. I appreciate it so much. Please have an excellent rest of your day, and we'll see you later in the bear's paws, probably, yeah? Great. See you then. What are you doing, your friend? Have a snack. Okay, y'all. I can hear a song coming from the apartment complex. I don't know if we can. I'm going to mute us for a second. I think their car radio is on while they're in the parking lot of the apartment across the way. I'm hoping that that's not necessarily going to be picked up by the lav mic here. Maybe I'll noise cancel it on out. I have to worry about monetization at this point, but still. Okay, I'm going to mute this some more. Okay, it's still going. I'm going to mute the lav mic I'm wearing. I have another mic elsewhere in the yard. So hopefully you can still hear the bird song, but won't hear the music. That's the case. Okay, and believe I was loving. Set down a little bit more seed on one once. I'm taking off my lav mic. Hello. Hello, Christine. Thank you for dropping by. I'm sort of breaking things up by walking around a bit. We had a nutmeg visitation. We had her for about 20 minutes, I think. So if you wanted to see Nutmeg, she's earlier in the stream. Okay, I don't know how well you could hear me on that other mic. Now I'm clicked back on. Ah, excellent. Well, I guess not excellent for the birds if the squirrel's eating the food, but excellent for the squirrel. The English cousin. So your proper native squirrel then, a little reddish squirrel. Good. I'm glad you can hear me. What I realized about these microphones is they really do cancel out a lot more of the noise, and not always what I want them to cancel out versus what they think they should cancel out. Well, I'm sorry it's a gray. I'm sorry it's one of ours. Not their fault, of course, that they're there. But I do displace the other ones. Scotland. Yeah, I've heard that Scotland and I think there was one of the maybe Isles may have them. I'll have to look that back up again. Poor little red squirrels. They're adorable. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope to see you later in the bear's paws. Little nuthatch. They're awfully hard to see from this distance. Oops, there he went. Oh, new curtains. That sounds lovely. Let me walk back to the squirrel area. I think we're between their main feeding times. Like I said, Nutmeg is on here earlier in the live. Tree creeper. Yeah, they're all part of the family of little tree creeping birds. They're little nuthatches. There's more than, I believe there's a total of 4 in the state of Texas, but only 3 in our region. And I only see one kind ever. My bird app, my Merlin app, only ever sees one or hears one kind in our backyard. I just don't remember its formal name. No. They're so small and they move so fast that they're pretty hard to get on camera in a recognizable way. Good heavens. you got hidden. YouTube does not understand to discriminate between. So we do it with a crested titmouse here as well. Again, we probably have more titmice, but I tend to just see one kind in the yard here. But that's. Do you see them coming in or out? Do you know if the babies have hatched yet? Can you hear them? Excellent. That's what our little bluebirds, Eastern bluebirds, were doing. When I made that, well, yeah, longer and the shorter vids with the bluebirds in them. I think they're preparing their nest for another round of. Come on, y'all. There we are. It's awful hard to keep up with these birds. But yeah, our Eastern bluebirds, I believe, are preparing for a second round of babies. This is the first season that Simplings actually used the little box that we got. I think we got that at least, or put it up at least a year ago. But they're the first customers. I don't know if you've ever seen some of those screens with, because there can be boxes, well, they'll sell boxes that have a camera pre-prepared, whatever camera and software included. And sometimes there's folks that just have a little camera trained on a nest. I was watching some robins, some little robin nestlings. And they don't go in boxes, so it was a camera that is just placed very close to the nest. Yeah, the birds can be so picky. I got it originally for my Carolina wrens. Carolina wrens are a little smaller, but the bird box will accommodate up to bluebird size. And because the Carolina wrens have been for at least a couple years in our gutter, very close to where we've been put the box. But sometimes they don't take suggestions. They want to go where they want to go. And these squirrel boxes, we've never had any of these squirrel boxes. Now what I understand about squirrels, I think she had to go. Let me scroll up here. Yeah, she was here for quite a while. But I believe Louise has, was that people left? Okay. I believe she has left the screen for now. But yeah, squirrel boxes, I now understand only a male, if any squirrel, would actually use them to slow on a tree. Female squirrels want those much higher and make their nests much higher. I'm not sure how many nest in our trees. Our neighbor has this like amazing big tree. I don't know how well you can see it from here, but it's kind of It's much wider, a lot more branches lower down, and I'm always watching birds coming in and out of there, and squirrels when they run around in there. And then if they want to crisscross somewhere, since we have so many intersecting trees, it's kind of like a little squirrel highway. And when I was sitting out here yesterday, see where the sun is. So it's a bit challenging with the sun. So this big sweeping branch, see them going across or just hanging out on a lawn. It's actually kind of looks like one branch, but it's two curving branches that come kind of intersected there. And they can get over, and it's one of our neighbors remaining. They took down a lot of their trees around here. Folks will always tell you, which is true, that when there's trouble growing grass on your property, lawn grass, imported native grasses that people make lawns out of, those don't grow well if you've got a bunch of trees in your yard, partially shade, but also the roots of certainly surface rooted trees are going to compete. It's hard to grow grass, so people will cut down the trees in the hopes that their lawns will be nice and green. It's not always work, but it's still good. We, of course, have no lawn. And we're very good with that. I do want to eventually buy seed for native grasses. Blue stem. There's piney woods, little blue stem. That would be specific to where I'm at. But blue stems throughout the large part of the nation, and the great blue stem, I think it's called, is you get like 6 or 8 feet tall. I saw a cardinal that wasn't fast enough to move in on it. Goldfishes. We have, well, we have, I suppose, a lot of finches. Well, I guess because Darwin noted that we have a lot of finches in this world. But I rarely notice for goldfinches here. The Merlin app will pick up the sound more often than I'll ever see them. Hello, Tomas. Thank you for dropping by. We've got a partial bear's paw showing going on. Louise was in here earlier. She's had to go. If you are looking for Nutmeg, she made her appearance earlier. She was here for almost like 20 minutes. Not sure how long ago that would be now. It's probably at least an hour back in the feed. So we had a regular squirrel kind of early, and then we had Nutmeg. We found Nutmeg and kind of traced her journey, eating at different platforms when we're hanging out. We believe we're in a little bit of a lull at the moment. They'll feed in the morning and then in the afternoon in larger groups. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Always appreciate the emoji reacts on the side. and the likes. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave this running until my battery is nearly gone. And I can recharge it. Or at least I may join the bear's paws on my laptop because the phone may need to recover after being outdoors all day. We're seeing some nuthatches, sneaking little seeds when they're over here on the side. They come down the side of this tree and then sneak a little seed from the platform. Hello, welcome in. Now we're really getting a good bear's paw. Good bear's paw crew. Like I was mentioning to Tom, we've got Nutmeg on earlier in the live. She was here for about 20 minutes, so that's pretty fun. Y'all can check her out at some later time. Hopefully, I can make some decent highlights, snippets, or whatever we call them here. Weather. What kind of weather is everyone getting out there? Obviously, I've got a lot more sunshine today than we have the past couple weeks. I'm always actually grateful for clouds in the afternoon out here. We're warming back up. Sunny and rainy. Got to catch those rainbows out there. Thank you guys for the likes and for whoever was hitting the hearts earlier. I appreciate it. Oh no, off heavy hailstones. Oh, I'm the mortal enemy of my plants anyway. Those since y'all are here, and I've got you as a captive audience. Not only did they attack my the hailstones damaged my tomatoes. The lovely photo I had of rain on this hosta and its beautiful bluish leaves. It got murderized by the hail. So we probably won't be doing any pretty pictures for a couple months if they grow some new leaves there. Yeah, everything really. Oh, hello from Maine. Hello to Maine. I am anyway, in Texas. I think you and I are the only ones watching from the US right now. We've got a good crew from the Bear's Paws, which will be having an episode, an opening, a gathering in a couple hours, less than a couple hours. Nick, are you in here? Can you tell us how long it's going to be till we meet you at your channel? We'll have a very amusing time at our local pub, local to the internet. Anyway, 2.5 hours. Okay. Yes, I was thinking about that wrongly. Yes, how are things out in Maine? We're just at the moment looking at my poor hosta. We were talking about hail. Some of us are experiencing rough weather, and this is the evidence of my recent past rough weather. Break from squirrel TV up here. Open the bear's paws early. Do you have enough programming for us for 4 hours? 5 hours? I'm gonna let this run until my battery goes, y'all. I don't think that'll interfere with it though. Almonds. Vocal exercises. Those are important, really. I think of those since I normally hate talking on my lives. I don't necessarily give a lot of thought about my voice or vocal exercises. What are the trees? These ones I think are primarily the elms. Yeah. Now this is a hackberry. Well, I get varying names from my apps, whether it's hackberry or sugarberry, and if those are the same thing or not. It has this knobbly little texture, which I find unusual. Let's see. Observe the knobbly texture of the hackberry. Three deer. That's lovely. I am not in a place where the deer would come. We've had a lot more development. Plus, I'm at a place that is, our subdivision was here in the 70s, I suppose. And we're on what was more of a main road. Now it's a cut-through road. A lot of traffic noise. The one in the middle here is one of our oaks. So primarily we have oaks. A lot of our oaks are water oaks. Oaks. Oh, there we go. Sweet gum. I think one of these is sweet gum. Oh, hello. I did not notice the squirrel. We'll back up. Oh, it's Scar. Hello. Oh, don't go. Sir, come on. You know I'm not scary. You see me all the time. I mean, I still may be scary, but you see me all the time. Hello, Shane. Thank you for joining. Another one of our pre-gaming, Bear's Paws pre-gaming days. I was going over the trees. I was going to walk over to one of our sweet gum trees. I just about ran into Scar here. I'm going to give him a little space and see if he'll come back down. Zoom in quite that far. My shaky hands just makes that not really. I do. Oh, He's just gonna rest there, I guess, for a bit. Now when they do that in particularly hot weather, I think they call it sploofing. They'll do it just all over the place, but normally they're just on a tree branch looking at what's going on. Oh, I'm glad you can hear at least some of the bird song, Christine. Like I said, these mics I got are kind of have pros and cons. There's some kind of automatic noise canceling stuff. Oh, where'd you go, sir? I'm just going to go back and sit in the chair. Sorry for the rough commute there. Yeah, I'm quite the appreciator of our backyard wildlife. It's wild, Joe. I was sitting out in my chair here yesterday, just kind of watching the squirrels run all over the canopy. So I was hoping they might do that again today. They've mostly just come to snack, which is fine. You just never know what they're going to get up to. But it's the second breeding season, or second breeding period of the season. There's a lot of young ones that I think are from earlier. And now we're starting on round 2. I think it's August, September or so that they'll be out and about. So how are things going, Shane? You've been out doing garden work, landscaping and such. I always appreciate your appreciation of my voice, Tom. And all those heart react emojis on the side. Thank you. I am about 32% on my battery. I think I've got at least another hour or 2. Like I said, I'll just leave the phone out here until it's done. So I'll probably be joining all y'all at the Bear's Paws by laptop. At first, anyway. Okay. Well, he's not coming back down. I'll go back over to where show you the sweet gum tree. I'm sure this one's, so this platform here is on a sweet gum rather than one of the elms. Okay, why can I not pinch you? Pinch. Okay, so you were also in the area that was getting the hail. That's another oak here. And then this big one over here, also a sweet gum. Now I can tell you, people are not necessarily fans, and all the trees I've mentioned are new to this area. It is, Tom. There's, I assume, either a lot of these trees on the, because I'm on the like the periphery of the subdivision right here. Obviously, the fence right here. There's apartments. There's a street. But the trees on the periphery may predate. You know, if they were thoughtful enough to save trees as they built it. But I really don't know if how many of these they may have brought in when they built them. When the houses were built early to mid 1970s in the subdivision. So the sweet gum trees are these little, they're almost maple leaf like, but not quite. And they don't turn quite, they're not quite like sugar maples, you know. Lots of phones. Oh man, if there, someone's got to find us footage of, you know, anybody's old you know, what's that? That would have been VHS back then. Betamax, any of that? 8mm. What kind of film we would have had of that Toronto '72 festival? But we would need to dig that up or retrospectively invent it, and that would be hilarious. It's a big oak tree in my neighbor's yard, but yeah. So these are either from the '70s or earlier. And in fairness, that is why a lot of people cut them down, in addition to hoping that the grass, non-native ornamental lawn grass, will grow better without them there. The tree back here, reverse that. Tree back here is the one where the branch. Oh yeah, told you guys about the branch on Sunday, I think. And we were last at the berry falls. Older trees are great because our bats. Oh, sorry to disturb. Sorry to disturb, squirrel. We were snacking down at the picnic table. And looking at the trees. Couldn't see the squirrels for the trees. But yeah, we have bats, obviously squirrels, woodpeckers, possums, even that live in some of the bigger trees as they're kind of decaying. But that's also means that, I mean, they're decaying. We've had to cut that one back a lot. That left side of it is actually mostly dead. Now, I think we're going to come over to the main feeders. You know, there's a bit of a lag as I'm trying to zoom in. Lost track. Oh, there we go. There's a mine. That SCAR, I think, came back. Frightened them off a little bit earlier. But I believe. Hello, SCAR. I don't know if you can see that kind of dark notch on his eye, the top of the area surrounding his eye. And so that's why I call this one Scar. Yes, my squirrels are, well, they get well fed, the ones that are, just the ones that are brave enough to come down while I'm filming them, recording them here. Okay, I'm going to be cheesy, guys. I'm going to ask you to hit the little side emote reacts. See if we can get anyone else to show up while I actually have a squirrel on stream. Thank you. Thank you for the heart reacts. Yeah, I don't know how many squirrel feeding channels y'all have ever stopped by, but some of those squirrels, man, I don't know how they get back up in the trees. It's the same with some raccoons that are on another. There's a channel here in Texas, kind of a big cleared area, and they've got raccoons, skunks, javelinas, all kinds of stuff coming by that they just set up cat kibble, dried field corn, peanut butter on this pole in the back. Raccoons climb and get off. But those are some very chunky raccoons. How we going, sir? That's riders. There we are. Climbing up into the canopy. I'm not familiar with a Rough Riders camp. The one in Texas is something to do with blue or indigo. It just shows up in my in my scrolling through in the wee hours. Let's try them. All right, looks like we can. Remember if I've got my container out here to refill. Walk you. Well, there are no noticeable squirrels. I'm going to walk you over this squirrel train. This side here, you can still see us some green came through again this spring. This side here is the dead side, or at least dead enough to be dropping branches. We had to cut that one, trying to leave some of the holes for that wildlife use. And then that branch that hangs over the neighbor's place. We had to fix that. Let's see if I can show you where the one came off on Sunday. Yeah. But we did do. And we want some of our remaining berries. So here is, I'm going to show you a closer shot. Okay. So it just, you see how it just broke there at the trunk. Yeah, Christine, I put out what we have black oil sunflower seeds. Wildlife seems to like those the best, and they're a little easier to for all kinds of critters to get into than some of the. This is after it. It didn't fall this neatly. We trimmed off all the little bits of it, and we moved this when we are able. But yeah, we feed them black oil sunflower seeds. So easier to get into. And the gray striped, I think they're called. The bigger, heavier, got this big growth on it. It's kind of interesting to me. Stuff. So we've got the fungus that shows up when things are or have begun to die. And sometimes down here are some much larger sections of fungi. This is these vines are natives. Also, they produce berries. And they just have little sucker things, so they're not like invasive like some ivies and things are. They're easily torn down if you want to, but they're native. Virginia creeper. So yeah, this as the tree decays there. So that's dead and that's decaying, helped out by the fungus here, but just the natural forces of the environment are bringing down that bit by bit. You might be able to see some of the bark peeling away, so we get bits of bark that fall off. Now, once that gets kind of tenuous enough, we will have to take more pieces down to that side, and if this side stops giving us leaves, then we'll have to do the same on that side just to keep it safe enough. Most of it is not over our roof. And now that we had the dead side cut again more recently, it is now not also hanging over our neighbors. Then see. It's getting a bit warm in the sunnier parts of the yard there. Previous bits of tree cut down. We used to burn some wood. Almost all of these are obviously too large to get in the fireplace. But during the big storm, we're all losing power in Texas. It was the last time I think I really burned anything. And I'd need to get the chimney cleaned out again before, since, oh no, where am I? Yes, now I will point out these are not crops. I know there are some strong feelings among people with crops. These are what, morel? So they're nice and airy and light. Although I will tell you, if we're in only kind of a little stick, or if I'm working in our mulch, then my shoes are full of mulch because I don't have a proper gardening boot, which is terrible. But, every time I look at nice gardening boots, they're stupid expensive. So at some point, I'll get something a little more suitable to task. Here's some of our goldenrod. It's another native. We leave stands of this back, well, we leave it wherever it lands, because it does have seed that will blow in land places. But especially in a thick patch like this, it's more likely that it's spreading through its rhizomes, which is also why it does well here in a yard where we have so many older surface rooted trees. Things that are vines, anything that spreads by a runner, and anything that, well, some things that are rhizomes. So if it can live in the surface and do reasonably well there, it can coexist with our older surface rooted trees. But after the first 2 to 3 years, I think here, we stopped trying to plant in the ground. Like all my hostas are the hostas we bought and I moved them a couple times and then put them in containers, and now they do fine. They could not compete with our trees. The trees would just completely invade anything we water. Again, why some sort of native volunteer type plant that I'm not going around watering has a better chance, because a tree is not going to crush the life out of it. I can take you over to some of our, okay, this is not the infamous Canada lettuce, okay? The one further on is where the infamous ladybug getting it on scenario is taking place. But this is our taller one. It could be a tree all by itself. They're biennials. I was wondering about that because I've seen one in the place that this is. I saw it last year, but it never grew tall, so it was just getting its roots sorted. And this year it's growing tall. It will flower, and then those will go wherever they go. But I like them mostly because they're tall. And somebody, I think because of when I do a lot of those shorts, or I guess any of my videos, I try to get the scientific name of whatever plant or animal, I guess, in the comment or the description. So then I will be shown things that are similar. And so just earlier today, a guy that does foraging of whatever plants you can find growing out in the wild. I will say safe foraging. I mean, anybody's free to forage whatever, but there can be consequences. So safe foraging. And the tops, unsurprisingly, the tops of a lot of the fresh new growth at the very tip of a plant, it's going to be tastier, less bitter than a leaf, an older leaf. But also, I think, I don't know how far down, but at some point a little further down on the stem, essentially kind of almost eat it like an asparagus stalk. But yeah, just take the little bit of the outer membrane off, and it just look kind of tasty. But I don't want to eat mine. I want them to flower. Let's see ladybirds. Yes, Christine. Cheap gardener like you. Well, Shane, I probably, if I had to fly you out here, you would be much, much less economical to come by. What is that? Some bird activity. People griping at each other somewhere over here. Let's see ladybirds. That's another one of those bands that was in Toronto in '72. Amazing. I'm telling you, we need to create some found footage of that festival. It could be How were we all dressed during that? During that festival of '72. I think we could watch that on Bear's Paws TV, not the CCTV, just the BP TV. Okay. I'm at 20%. I think I can eke out a little, at least a half an hour more, I think. And I'm very excited that I got some decent squirrel visitation while I've been out here. And the days coming up are going to get warmer. So if I came out here, it would have to be a little earlier in the day. Oh, can you hear the woodpecker? Now this stuff's not native, but it's regularly planted around here, and it does certainly gives the insects and lizards and such all kinds of cover all year round. It's an evergreen, so everybody gets to live in there all winter. And again, it just goes by little runners across the surface so it can survive where the other things cannot. Here's a better shot with some Virginia creeper in amongst the Asian jasmine, which is the non-native stuff. Now, I picked some tomatoes earlier. I got another one coming on here. Shelby, I'll probably pick her tomorrow. And I see that's some of that hailstone damage. More of the hailstone abuse of more hosta. It's growing in a pot right now. Oh, look at you, a leaf hopper. Oh. Very non-high definition view of a leaf hopper. I love the way those are colored. But what I was trying to show you is the leaf hopper is on something called late bone set, and it seeded itself in a pot. I'm not sure if they are rhizomatic as well. There's also an early bone set that would bloom earlier, but I don't seem to have any of that. I just have late bone set. Oh, there's some sweet gum. Basically, until a tree is just really in our way, trees, shrubs, whatever, if they're native, we just let them hang out. Something relatively noisy just fell in here. Those work on a psychedelic colors. I am wondering. It's probably just bark or something. Could have sworn it sounded just like when a baseball or softball lands in the grass. I wonder if I can show you her. Let's see. There we are. So she's one of the crew that will help eat variety of different kinds of caterpillars. Oh, here's some of the infamous clover, the multi-leafed 4, 5, and 6 leaf clovers. Like I said, they haven't quite been doing that anymore. It is not native. It is rhizomatic, so does okay. Here's some more tomatoes. Hailstone damage. Yeah, all of our plants are containerized at this point, because they just cannot outcompete our blueberries. Our blueberries are not coming on super great this year. I do need to repot the blueberries here. The blueberries are native to North America, so that's nice. Oh, stand up. Sorry. This is so you know Romeo, the gray and white, kind of gray and white tuxedo. This was the cat that was first part of that household. His name is Groot, or as I was told when they first got him by one of the little kids next door, he is Groot the Root from Guardians of the Galaxy. I've not seen the film, so I'm not sure. But that little tree Groot, apparently, character. Tree. Hello. Hello, Groot. How are we doing? Now that I've woken you up, you're going to want kibble, but we don't do that right now. You got to wait till evening shift. All right? You and all your fleas and mosquitoes. Hello. Don't get too close with him all the time because he can be temperamental. As he's aged, he's become rather temperamental, and he does not keep his claws to himself, or his bites super gentle when he does that. Or hail abuse of the hostas. Hostas, of course, not native to North America. Now here's got a couple of eastern redbuds, little leaves like that, little hearts. And those are native to the eastern part of the U.S. I don't know how many of. So those dewberries that I had in the photos, showing some new growth here. They're also vines. They're very nasty prickly vines, so that's unpleasant. But still flowering. I don't really know if that's going to produce another berry for the season. But we let those again run everywhere until this becomes unsustainable. I don't think I do not have a stand. Oh, I do have a stand of it from last year. So this was one of the blue stems I was talking about. It's a smaller type of blue stem that's native to the U.S. Just starting to regrow from last year. So I hope to get more of that, since it does look like it's able to stake out a few areas. Here's some from last year. That's intact. So they'll obviously produce some stuff to collect. back out on in the street. There's a little parking lot. That is where I'm very grateful they don't have their environmental management going out today with their big gas-powered devices to deal with their lawns and such. I don't know if you can see this. You see, there's a little here there. There we go, Amp TV for you. It's a little tiny bit of sunflower seed meat, sunflower heart going somewhere. So we show you all sizes of critters here on Cat Staffer TV. Seems to be blocked by the peanuts. He is reluctant, indeed. Boom. Oh, there's two of them. Very exciting. Compelling entertainment. I think I hear a nuthatch above me somewhere. Don't know if that means they'll make an appearance on the tree. We'll just keep following our friend. Probably not a lot of ant channels out there. Did we lose them? All right. Let's see. Hmm. I may have spoken too soon. I definitely hear someone, although I think it's in front of the house. Someone having their yard tended to. There we go. There we go. Thanks. Okay. Tried to zoom in on him there, but I think because of the other issue with these mics, although I specifically got it because it said this little stem thing where you plug it in to the phone is long enough to work with any case. It is not long enough to work with every case. Bit noisy motor there. But yeah, so the stem is not long enough to work with my case. Therefore, when I'm trying to hold this phone, sometimes my fingers end up being perceived by the glass, the front glass. And so I think that's what stops me from being able to pinch, zoom or not zoom. Thanks for the hearts, whoever sent those little hearts up or just after the nuthatch was here. Yeah, ordinarily I wouldn't be having, if I wasn't using the early girl plants, and I bought the plants. I didn't grow them from seed because I rarely remember to get those going, or I get them going and cats end up destroying them. So I bought the early girls very specifically so I would enjoy some tomatoes super early in the season before it gets too hot here in Texas for my tomatoes to do very well. Especially they're in containers. A lot of them, because they are overall less expensive, I can get them more or less in bulk. And they're easy to carry around because they're light. And obviously, when they're not dirt, fabric pots are what I use for a lot of things. And that's not awesome for retaining water in the Texas heat. So we just went with the early girl with some containers. And we will enjoy what we can have when we can have it. I can hear a squirrel complaining somewhere, barking, chirping. Oh, I see a nuthatch over there. I got a little bit of footage last month. Nuthatches bringing food back to their young, their little fledglings that were on this tree. It's a little hard to see. Thanks again to everyone in here. I appreciate each and every moment that you have to give to me, or keep your screens, whatever free screens you have, keep them warm with my content. I am nowhere near monetization, but I figure I need to start doing my live streams so I can just kind of let those run. well, I think a word can mean more than one thing in context. So yeah, I mean, why not? Oh, Louise or Christine, one of the ladies got caught by YouTube's censorship bureau or whatever, talking about the great tits, which I understand. Every other channel that I look at or mod for, always appreciate that being taken out of the stream, except when it's about a bird. What are you gonna do? Nuance is lost. on YouTube moderation. Oh, all these length questions or answers. Uh-oh, here we go. Held for review. Why is that held for review? Yeah, I use a balanced tomato feed. I think I've heard Monty Don say that quite a lot. Although he seems to prefer what is that, comfrey, fermented comfrey sauce, I'm gonna call it. Fermented comfrey tea. Or nettle tea he makes. And he seems to find tomato feed a rather acceptable artificial substitute, I guess. My mom grew comfrey. I'm thinking there's at least one kind native to the US, but that wouldn't have been the kind that we had growing up. Oh, very clean. Always important to be very, very clean. I've lost y'all. Okay, you're back. I don't know if you have service interruption, but because I grabbed the wrong part of my phone, turned on my camera. Is it to take over my camera? So I've seen it turned screen dark for y'all. Hope you can hear me. Hope you can hear NZ. Well, not me, but a tree. Oh, okay. I'm at 3%, y'all. I may leave this running till it dies. No, I won't. I'll cut it off before that because I know that causes some kind of issue with the uploading, I think. I'll say on for one more percentage. Yeah, it went down faster. I don't know if it's because it's warmer. Because remember our had a couple of streams, at least the one out here in the winter. It seemed like it was 4 hours, maybe a little over 4 hours that the phone was able to function, and this had a full battery. But it seems to be going down a little quicker. It might be the heat. But yeah, I'll see y'all in a little bit. I'll see y'all in a bit. And again, if you want to catch Nutmeg at whatever point, she's at the beginning of this video. Not the very beginning, but she'll be there. A good 20 minutes of her. Thank you all so much for stopping by, for sending up the little side hearts emojis there, and for the likes and chat. every inch closer to eventual monetization for to supplement all of the sunflower seeds is the goal. I want to be able to have more seed, more feed for all the critters. Maybe even someday one of those fancy bird feeder camera situations. Oh, Jeff, so glad you dropped by. I appreciate it tremendously. Oh, showering. Showering's good. I am more of a shower than a bath person. Not that anyone needed to know that, but here we are. Malarkey is a wonderful word indeed, Tom. Those blue, curvy blue hearts for a sharply angled blue guy. All right, I'm not sure when I'll do another one of these, but I'll probably try to do one at least once a week so I can get back in the habit of live streaming. Eyes like chipped ice. Like chipped ice. Senor, chipped ice. Do I? Is that what that accent is? Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. It's all that good anthropological observation at the pub. Pubs are really good places to observe folks in their natural habitat. Okay. There's the 2%. All right. So let's call it here, and I will see you all not too long from now. Everyone get your pee breaks out of the way before the show. Yes, anthropological observation. Of course, we're at Toronto 72. I'll show you the route as we go out here. Oh, 1%. Okay. It's serious now. Serious times. Groot, you want to say goodbye to everybody? Yeah. You want to run into the camera? Yeah, that's okay. Say goodbye. Goodbye, friends. See you at the pub. How do I stop?